Hello, lovely people. I hope you're having a fantastic day, a fantastic weekend wherever you are. We've got another lovely day here in England where it's not too hot and it's not too cold, and I'm actually able to go without tights. But for today, I decided as I was sitting out here enjoying the sun in between all the things that go with running a seven-person household during quarantine, that I wanted to have a chat about Making the Cut episode 3 and 4 because I watched them last night and I got some thoughts to share. So, heads up, if you don't want any spoilers, you might want to stop now. It's really bright, so I'm a little bit squinty and the lighting is harsh, but that's okay. Let's talk fashion. Okay, so episode 3, they had to do a collaboration, which to me sounded like Making the Cut does Next in Fashion, because with Next in Fashion, they were in pairs for like the first 4 or 5 episodes before they then got split up. And so this time they got made to work in pairs, which I think it was just like absolutely ridiculous because most of these people, as I've mentioned before, they already have their own brands and they've been working in fashion for a while. And then you're making them do collaborations that they haven't even chosen themselves. Because realistically, in fashion, there is no way, say, for example, I'm just going to pick Beyonce, even though she isn't a fashion designer or anything like that, but she does she did this collab with Adidas where she does the Ivy Park thing. She isn't going to do that if she doesn't like Adidas or if she doesn't actually get on with the people at Adidas. But, reality TV, we're going to make the drama. We're going to pair them up in the most unlikeliest pairs. And right off the bat, I knew that Sander and Sabato were going to win that collaboration. And that's simply because you've got Sabato, who's very easygoing, he's very wise and very mature as well. And then you've got Sander, who he's a difficult one to figure out. He's the youngest, right? And he's also probably the one that has been most impacted by pop culture and watching TV. So in the way that he interacts with people, I can tell that he behaves as if he's seeing himself on TV. And I think that that's something that you tend to notice with younger kids who grew up watching a lot of TV, because he seems to do this thing with code switching, where sometimes he talks and he sounds very much like a European Belgian with the sort of slightly Germanic accent to it, and he sounds what I would expect a Belgian person to sound like. And then there are times where he switches and he sounds like he's talking in very much Black American parlance, and he's kind of going like, "Oh, bitch, you're gonna take this," so, that sort of speak. And he seems to do that into. So I don't yet have a bearing on who he is, which one is the real him. He seems to play up certain aspects of himself. And, I've been through Belgium a couple of times, and I know that Belgians do not talk like Black Americans do. They don't have that which he sometimes throws in quite a lot, actually. So anyway, that aside, I knew that Sander and Sabato were going to win that because so far they've shown the characters that are more able to listen and compromise to other people, and they're the ones that don't seem very insecure about their designs and who they are. Some of the others, they've shown some insecurities, and I was kind of like, that might not work. So anyway, predictably they won, but I wanted to talk about the ones that lost, actually, the pairing of Troy and Josh. So up until this time, we hadn't been told that Troy, one of the contestants, is actually a faculty member at Parsons something or the other, which by my understanding is the same place that Tim Gunn used to work. I'm just going to call him TG because that's a lot easier, where TG used to work. So again, we come back to how the producers are trying to create drama here, because how can you say you've got a fashion design competition where you've got one of the contestants is a faculty member who teaches people that then go on to become designers, and he's been teaching for decades? And then you also have somebody like Martha who can't even cut into fabric, who doesn't know how to sew. It's really, really unfair in that regards. Either make it a design competition where you have them working with seamstresses, and so that they can instruct the seamstresses to do that. Because I know that there are some designers that do that. And if you look on YouTube, you'll see how some of the head ateliers at Alexander McQueen, they're just given a sketch of a dress, and then they're trying to figure out how to make this sketch come to life. And it's not actually the designer who's, bringing it to life. So I think that they should have done it that way. But, so Sunday and Sabato, they won the runway look thingy. But when it came to the accessible look, that also won as well, I think. I don't know. To me, it was really boring black stuff and all that, which again, I kind of feel like they just like black, because this is kind of like 3 weeks in a row where the winning looks were just black. It's like, where's the color? It's almost like they've got, they don't like the color. But anyway, so the guy that Troy and Josh, that pairing, right? It was quite interesting seeing how they worked together, because Josh, I think that's his name, I may be wrong. Josh automatically sort of gave, he gave away all his sensibilities or whatever. It just sort of saying Troy is a genius, I'm just going to be here to support him, to be thing. Which is okay, I guess. In a team working dynamic, you do need to have the people that are the workhorses that support the inspirational or transformational members of the group. But I felt like his loyalty was a little bit misplaced, because in all the time that we've seen Troy, I never once thought he presented anything that was like genius level at all. So I thought it was a shame that he had this kind of like misguided loyalty where he just was like, oh, this guy is amazing, this guy is whatever, to the point where when they were going through the eliminations, right, and Josh basically sacrificed himself, and he was like, I have to go, and I hope that if I go, you're going to give Troy another chance, because Troy is a genius. And I was just like, no, that's not true. I don't see it myself. But then another interesting thing that happened when they were being judged, right? Because he had made this really atrocious fitting jacket, I've made a few jackets myself, so I kind of feel like I've got the experience and the nouns to be able to say that I thought it was an atrocious fitting jacket. And of which Naomi, good old Naomi, made the model take it off and put it on again to show how terribly fitted it was. And then Heidi, who I'm beginning to like less and less as this season goes by. She's very, very annoying. She's very much like, it's up to me. It's up to me for you to get this $1 million. Remember, like I said, and it's really, there's too much smugness in her when she's doing the whole reminding them what's at stake, reminding them that it's up to the judges to decide if you stay or if you go. So when Josh sacrificed himself, then Heidi was like, you got to tell us why you want to stay. You've got to show us your fight. And I found that so annoying, because I was like, they were trying to make him beg and grovel in order to make what they think is good TV. And to give him credit, Troy didn't grovel as much. I mean, he really did try to express why he really wanted to be given another chance, etc. and all that. But luckily, he had Naomi slightly on his side. So even though Naomi didn't like the fit on the jacket, she respected the fact that he was a tailor, because she was like, I know that you're a tailor. And when it's a war, apparently, this is what Naomi said. She was like, when it's a war, the tailor always wins, not the designer, because the tailor is the one that can actually sew up stuff, that can make stuff up. And she was saying it like in a really harsh way. I don't know whether the producers told her that she really needs to up her bitchy factor, because she was being really and I like her, but I felt like she was being rude quite a few times, because she was interrupting people and then being like really unnecessarily abrasive. But I guess that's what the producers wanted. So so Troy then puts his case forward, and then they do that whole thing where they try to build the drama where they're like, judges, have you changed your mind? And then they go, and they do their constipated faces like they're really thinking very hard about whether to give this person another chance or not and stuff like that. Um, and then they say, okay, fine, we're going to give you another chance to it and all that. And then you'd think that Troy would do a great job of it. But hey, spoiler alert, in episode 4, he's the one that gets kicked out, because the thing that he then produces in episode 4 was just terrible. And with episode 4, basically TG is like, we want to get the fire in your belly, because my understanding of it is that they thought everybody was being too nice to each other. People weren't being bitchy enough, because they're all really nice people. These are professional business people. They've been working in the fashion design things. Of course, they don't go around backstabbing people. They don't go around, being two-faced or whatever, because they are professionals. But that doesn't make for good TV, does it? So TG was like, yeah, we're going to get the fire in your belly. We're going to do this. You got to show us how much you really want this. You have to show us. I.e., be really bitchy and backstabbing and, just give us some more drama. Yeah. And then in order to do that, they think, what's the best way to get these people to show their fire? Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's just do Project Runway again. They've got 7 hours to produce something, and they're given fabric scraps from the previous season. And I was just like, oh, my goodness me. So episode 3 was Making the Cut does Next in Fashion. Episode 4 was Making the Cut does Project Runway, basically. Which I think tells you how well the show is going. So, yeah, so then they have 7 hours to do this. And Troy is all like, yeah, I'm going to do my best. And he over-designs, and he's unable to deliver on that. And then he gets kicked out, which kind of like really, really sucks, because, they made him grovel in the previous episode, and then they kick him out. But he did get a hug from Naomi, which... I've never seen anybody get a hug from Naomi as they were getting put out. The winning design in episode 4, oh my gosh. Pretty design lines, but mismatched stripes. I mean, come on. Seriously? That just... I didn't think that was a cool design, personally speaking. What else was there? Yeah, there were just a lot of really boring designs on there, except for Sander. Yeah, I think Sander did an interesting design. He did sort of like an inside-out deconstructed dress, and that sort of worked. Sabato really struggled with the sewing, where he had to do the sewing himself, but bless him, he did pull through. He didn't give up. He didn't present a sarong wrap to the judges, so that was good. Who got sent? Yeah, Troy got sent home. The winner was Johnny, the winning look, and by the time I went to check it on Amazon.com, it had already sold out. Predictably, it's made out of polyester. The people who did order it and get it, the ones that had verified purchases on Amazon.com, they loved the dress. They had nothing but good things to say about it. The people that didn't get to buy it, that missed out on it, were the ones that were leaving negative reviews. So when you're checking the reviews, also check to make sure that whether it's somebody who actually received the item or it's somebody who's complaining that they didn't get the item. Okay, so yeah, so that was episode 3 and episode 4. And now they decided that they're going to move to Tokyo. Of which Japanese fashion, I feel like, is leaps and bounds ahead of the rest of the world. Like, Japan is just an amazing country, so it's just amazing. And I honestly feel like none of the designers are at the same level as what you get out of Japanese design. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. I've left out any stuff about TG and Heidi Klum because honestly, I fast forward through the clips where they're showing Heidi and TG's dates. It's so tedious. It is so boring. Nobody wants to see that. I don't know why they put those in there, whether they think that it's going to make for better viewing. It just is. And sometimes when they're judging the stuff, I get the impression that Heidi isn't even engaged. I don't even know why I'm okay. I know why I'm watching it. I'm gonna stop. Do you know what? I'm gonna lean into the fact that I'm watching this show. Yeah, I'm watching it because I need a hate watch. It's been decades since I've hate watched anything. So yeah, this is a good hate watch. But yeah, that was what I thought. But again, Sunday, like I mentioned, I think Sunday is the one that is going to win this competition. I'm putting my money on Sunday, definitely. Although actually maybe he might not, because he's not making stuff that's accessible, i.e., stuff that can easily be sewn up in a factory. He does a lot of really good couture stuff, I think. So yeah. So anyway, guys, that's my review of episodes 3 and 4. Yeah. Am I gonna watch episode 5 and 6? Yeah, absolutely. Got nothing else to do. The newspapers are now saying that it's likely we're going to be living like this for the next 12 months. So I need to get used to it. I'm feeling a lot better now, though. My chest infection is definitely on the mend. I'm down to using my inhaler about 2 to 3 times a day versus 5 to 6 times a day before. So that's good. Plus the sun helps. Loads of vitamin D and all that. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. Hit your notification bell so that you can be shown when I post out new stuff. Otherwise, YouTube won't put it forward or anything like that. And until I see you next time, happy sewing. Bye.